Hi, my name is Belinda Glenn, and I'm here with Tashi Mincey. And the way that we know each other is we've been spending a lot of time together the last few weeks through kind of unfortunate circumstances. Tashi is my girlfriend-in-law. So my word for she was dating my stepbrother, but he passed recently. And so this brought us all together, and we've both just kind of been here in town, kind of being here for family and just kind of being around people as we're all kind of going in and out of dealing with this and bonding with each other and strengthening each other. And so it's been, I don't know, it's been really, a lot of good has come from unfortunate circumstance. And our friendship has come out of unfortunate circumstance. So, I guess, so my first question for you, and I'm so appreciate you doing this interview, because I know, things are going on right now, but where are you from, and just a little bit about your background?
Okay, well, I'm from Albany, Georgia. We talked about that.
Yep.
So I'm a country girl.
All right.
Yes, we spend a lot of time outside with my siblings and my cousins. And I've always been this person that liked to explore as a kid and try new things. And so, yeah, I'm just a little country girl, moved to the city, and I've had many opportunities to travel around and meet people all over the world from different cultures and backgrounds. So, yeah.
Cool. I'm excited to talk about that stuff. And your background is close to my heart, because I did not grow up in the country at all. I've been from the suburbs, but I love, I don't know, just out in the open land and being away from the city is just, I think, so therapeutic. But enough about me. So, I don't know, kind of an interesting thing I want to start with is that I don't know a lot about is like how you came to be in a music group and how that how that kind of started.
Okay. So I've been expressing myself all of my life, and so singing and dancing and performing has been a part of me since I can remember. And I started in the church. I would sing at church and the youth choir and all that stuff. Cool. And definitely was involved in school with theater or whatever I can get my hands on when it comes to singing or performing.
Okay, I relate to this.
So I've always done that, even if it's at home, with my family and stuff. And when my mom and the rest of my family discovered that, they're just like, Tashi gonna sing for us for Christmas, or Tashi sing a song. So I've always had that encouragement in my life to just sing and express myself.
Cool. Yeah, I feel like I was lucky also to grow up in a house where, my mom would say, if someone's playing the piano and the phone rang, someone would say, oh, take the phone. She would say, take the phone in the other room. Oh, whereas other houses, I realized the phone would ring and someone would be, stop that piano racket. Yeah. It was very nurturing, and I feel like because of that, I was able to really grow. So that's cool.
I think that was what really gave me that self-esteem and that confidence is because my family really just saw these things, and I'm sure they wanted me to shut up sometimes or sit down. I'm sure I got a little cray-cray, but ultimately I was still able to share and express myself. But it became more like, okay, Tashi sing, da-da-da. And when it became more of that, I was just like, no. I wanted to do that because that's what I was feeling at the time, and that's what I wanted to do. I didn't want it to become a task.
Yeah.
A chore.
A chore
or like a command or a demand. It's like, okay, but I'm not really feeling up to it.
Yeah. Every singer kind of has that, we don't usually like to be, sing something. We don't really like being told that in the moment because, you wouldn't tell a surgeon, like, sew something.
Right.
like it kind of feels like that. But if we're somewhere where there's a piano and people are like, you know, we'd love it if you sang something, you know, that's a little different than just like, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of,
when Tashi sings, she'll sing a song for you. I'm like, I will?
Yeah.
I'm not really feeling good today, you know?
Right, yeah, or I'm not in a good voice, or I haven't thought, you know. Right. But asking
it's different.
Seems more, like, it's kind of more polite, I think.
I agree.
But, so tell me a little bit about the music group and how it affected your life and your experiences.
Okay. So if I would share for real, I feel like have formed some kind of music group in my life with like my cousins or just, you know, doing these things at home. But on a different scale, this is like college. This was like, I don't know how old I was, like 19, something like that.
Okay.
20. But I was actually dancing in a music video, and I was invited to do this from a person that I had met from my hometown. But this group happened when I moved to Atlanta. Okay. So, and I guess just hanging out and doing all of our rehearsals for this video, you know, I guess I'm just being myself and singing. So that was heard. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. I didn't think about that.
Watch. I didn't either.
Yeah, got your watch.
Okay, it's an hour. Okay.
Cool.
And so this person that I knew wanted to start a group, and we would talk on the phone and say all these things. And eventually, you know, the question came about, and it was like, do you want to be in the group? And I'm like, no. Like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do in the band group? I know, but I guess I was so into dance and all these performing, things like that. And singing wasn't really like, oh, I'm going to da-da-da-da. I was just singing. That's just what I like to do. It wasn't for attention or anything like that.
Oh,
it was just,
you weren't out to, like, become famous or, like...
Yeah, I mean, I really wasn't. Like, younger, that was my dreams. Like, yeah, I'm going to be this. I'm going to be a model and a superstar. Da, da, da. But then when it started getting, like, attention from other people and it just became this big old thing, I'm just like, never mind. Okay. But back to the group thing. So
was it a band then?
So it was a band, but she called it a band at the beginning. That's how it was proposed. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to play an instrument? I'm like, I can play an instrument. You know, that's what I thought of. And I've always wanted to. But then she's like, no, you can sing. Okay. And I'll, you know, do my part. And I'm like, okay, you want me to sing?
That's amazing, because I will say really quick that in college I wanted to do all-girl bands, and I had some different friends that played different instruments, and I planned on singing because I was majoring in singing, and most girls want to be the singer, and all my friends that I asked that had different instruments, they would be like, yeah, I'd be interested, but I want to be the singer. And I'd be like, but you play an instrument. But they're like, yeah, but I also want to sing. So I feel like it's funny that you actually were like, no, I don't want to sing. Like, you're not wanting that spotlight. Like, you don't have that thing that a lot of us have where it's like, I want to be the...
Because it's like a part of me, like, I feel like I put on these concerts and these singing and stuff. That's all happened in my private space, like with me alone. Like, that's how I discovered this.
Yeah.
And so
like
it was...
when you're just on your own jamming and it's for your own love of it.
Yeah, I'm my own audience. I give myself the applause and all that stuff like that. And that's been since I was little, you know.
I love that phrase, I'm my own audience.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. Anyway, sorry.
I applaud myself.
You say the most amazing things. Okay.
She thinks I'm saying like poetry, but I'm just talking. You know, I don't know.
I want to like quote the things you say. I'm like, that's amazing. Okay.
And so, you know, all that happened. And basically I'm just like, okay, let's do it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess time goes by. I don't really remember timeline like that, but eventually they write a song, and I get back and they're like, okay, we're going to record this. So I get in the studio and we record, and I guess the rest is history. Like, so much happened along that journey, and just, you know, working as a team and, you know, sharing and expressing myself in that way on a bigger stage, you know, where people are looking at you and people are are expecting certain things of you, and it's not just you like singing on the stage. Like, it's a whole debacle, it's a whole performance, it's a whole image, a whole look. Okay. So, you know, when you're performing, now you're dancing. And of course, okay, I'm a dance. Like, dancing is I dance, you know? That's what I like to do too. So it becomes this whole performance. And it's not only you on the stage and your partner, but there's background dancers, there's people with cameras, there are managers, there are entourage, there are other people that are other talents that are there. You know, you're having shows every night, 2 shows a night, and different things like that, you know, and I'm just like, this is happening really fast.
A lot of people would see that as, they'd be like, oh, you're so, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of people are dying for that, but probably a lot of the people that end up in that position are people like you who don't need it necessarily,
right,
you know.
Right.
But,
I mean, I'm not going to say that I didn't have a good time. Mm-hmm. I had a great time until it got down to like, okay, your reality, because you're not performing 24/7, 365. Although you may be performing every day, it's still not, it doesn't define you. You have other parts of your life that you have to take care of and you have to water. And sometimes when you're not in a space to really focus on yourself and give yourself the attention that you need to keep your sanity, to stay strong, to stay in a space where you want to share and you want to sing and you want to dance. Like, for me, I'm not a robot. Okay. I sing because I feel good. It's a way I can communicate. It's not like what you see. Oh, I want to be. That's not me.
Yeah.
I just happen to get that attention because that's what it is of the world. And I'm okay with it. Like, now I'm in a different space when it comes to it. 'Cause I would actually, you know, go there and perform again and do all these things, but it'll have to be my way.
And I on your terms, and when, you know, if you can do it in a healthy way.
Yeah.
And I do feel like as you get older, you kind of are like, you know, I don't want to work ever again for someone who's horrible, and I don't want to like get up every day and hate my job, or like, you know, hate getting out of bed for work every day.
Or sing someone else's words, you know, like people writing things for you, and then eventually I'm like, I don't believe in it. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, I need to write my own words because I can't feel that, you know?
Yeah.
For me, it's a feeling. It's not just
I don't want to sing something I don't like.
Or I don't want to sing something that I don't connect with or resonates with me. And that happens a lot to keep a certain sound and image, because it's a profit. That's what it is, you know? When your talents and when your things are in other people's hands, it becomes more than just you expressing yourself.
Yeah. And
so with all of that, so much happened with different people from different backgrounds, and I'm just like,
Okay.
I'd rather do this in my room.
Wow.
I'd rather do this in my room and be happy that way. And so the whole group thing, it wasn't a good. I learned so much, and I met a lot of people, amazing people along the way. I cannot lie. Yeah. So many opportunities, so much experience. It was great for that. But when it comes down to reality and certain things with certain people, it just don't. It just doesn't work out, and it had to. And
go separate ways.
Go separate ways.
And did you get people being like, "You're crazy. What are you doing? Why?" You know.
Girl, I got
sure.
all kind of stuff, like
yeah,
text messages, calls, like social media was going. I think we had just learned how to do the whole Instagram and the Facebook thing and all that stuff. So people were saying stuff, like we literally had like fans and people looking up to us, and you know, we made it on 106 in Park. Like, that's on BET, if you didn't know.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. And it's like, you know, we were in New York and everything, and it's just like national TV. And it for me, getting to that space, because I've watched that from my childhood and these things, just being there, that was like an accomplishment. That was a great thing for me in itself. But on the outside of society and reality, there were so many people and so many things like picking all this stuff apart, you know, and I'm just like, okay, I don't care. I didn't even really care to win. Because I already won, but they made so much a big deal about the things that didn't matter to me.
Okay.
But ultimately, I had a ball.
Cool.
I had a ball. So
yeah. So what? I mean, So it's an experience you enjoyed while you enjoyed it.
Yeah. It was. I mean, it was. And there are some downs and there are some times where you get frustrated and you're having to do things and you're maybe over-exalting yourself and you're, going and going and going and going on top of working and other life goals that you have for yourself. I used to think I was Superman, so I was like, okay, I can do this. I can have these 2 shows. I was in school and everything. I was in college. I graduated. All these things. But ultimately, just expressing myself and having that opportunity, because I do take it as an opportunity. I said yes, too.
Yeah.
And it was necessary, and I wouldn't change it. I mean, I know I probably did some crazy stuff, but I wouldn't change it at all.
Those sound like interesting stories too.
Yeah. Just gonna keep those.
We'll cut that out.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Now I can talk about these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what then did you learn, and you've kind of mentioned this, but what did you learn that other people might not know about? I mean, I think people do kind of get the idea. Obviously we know things like there's paparazzi and there's fans and there's pressure and there's time constraints, but like, is there anything else that people would be surprised?
Yeah. I think there has always been like a message that I had to reflect on and just get an understanding of like that part of my journey and like all those things that happen and just being able to just like analyze and dissect myself and reflect on my life. Because I was, honestly, what really shed light for me was things are not what they seem. They're not always what they seem. Knowing like my reality and what I was dealing with in my real life and my personal life when I'm not in front of the camera or when I'm not on stage in front of fans or whomever or in the studio, I learned, this was real, like, having to work and, have the money to take care of yourself and all these different things. But when you're on stage and when you're in the spotlight and when you're being watched by all these people who don't know, you at all, they see something else and they expect certain things and they think certain things that is being portrayed when they see you on stage or when they see you on TV or whatever. And I'm like, I had these 3 little girls at one of a concert or performance that we had, and they were just so happy and excited, and they were just saying hello and wanting my autograph and all that stuff, and I'm like, okay, and they wanted to give me something. They're like, hey, I made this for you, or da da da, and I'm like, okay, you don't have to give that to me, like, it's okay, keep it, for yourself, and and I don't know. In a way, I felt like I was declining something or I was rejecting something, but those weren't my intentions. I just felt like I'm not worthy of that, Like, you don't have to do that, I don't have $1 in my pocket,
you know. You're thinking I'm someone that's not exactly who you think I
am. Just because you see these glitz and these glams and you see me in this, and it's just like, I appreciate the love, and I really do, and it says so much about people. But for me, I just felt like it just wasn't the full truth, I wasn't all the way happy with that. I'm like, I don't have $1, and you think I'm this celebrity on this pedestal, on this high. I'm not that. Like, I literally, was probably sleeping in a space when I wasn't even comfortable or somewhere, you have no idea. So I kind of felt that was my responsibility to be true to myself. And they were just like, okay. I was like, next time I see you, da da da. And I kind of, we'll be in a different space, but they don't know that. And so the message was, for me, it was just like, we have to stop. I wish we would put that much energy into ourselves, what we give to other people. Because you don't know what these people are going through or what they're dealing with. I'm just like you. I just happen to have this opportunity of space to share my voice and express myself in this way, you can literally do it. Like, it's not like this, but it wasn't a take away from myself. It just didn't, I don't know. It just wasn't like something that felt good on the inside, and I couldn't like pretend all the time.
Yeah. 'Cause you're like, if you ran into me in the grocery store and you didn't know who I was,
you wouldn't
trust
even
me,
look
you
at
wouldn't
me.
even think twice about
Right.
what you're coming across, or if
Yeah. And so it just says so much about that when it comes to these social medias and all these things that we see. And of course, it's good to, people inspire us. Of course. I love Whitney Houston's. I love all of these people, all of these amazing vocalists and musicians and creatives and artists, Michael Jackson, all these are my people. And I love them like deeply. But I feel like I don't give them all that extra, responsibility for me to be this thing. I love what they share with me, and I take it for what it is, and I'm just like in it, but it's just not like, I don't feel like I know them because they sing these things and because I see them,
or like, no, you kind of now look at them and you're like, oh, I appreciate so much for what you have contributed and what you do and your beautiful music. But I also know I don't know anything about your life. Like, I really don't know could really be going on with you.
And that's okay. But actually it makes me look at and makes me feel and resonate deeper with them because I've been on that other side. So I'm like, when I see them and they're singing these songs that I love, it's like I can feel their passion. I can feel their hurt. I can feel their pain. I can feel their love and all these things. And I just experience music in a different way. And I don't know, I wish we could all feel that. And not just take it for what we see. Like I feel like we gotta start feeling things, and I think that's how we'll have a better understanding for ourselves and each other.
That's a great place for me to, for 1 second, just make sure everything is running correctly and recording correctly.
I know, because I hit the mic.
And
I was
like,
you did
it! Like, she might actually know about some of this technology stuff since she was in this position.
I hit the mic and I touched my shirt. Yeah.
It's okay. Someday I'll have technology where I can have real mics where you can do whatever you want. Anyway, we'll maybe talk about that stuff. But
you say
because you don't take all those things so seriously. I think it's the famous people who take those things so seriously who get messed up. It's because they take their own fame so seriously. And their own, like the fans, like the feedback from people matters to them so much that if they get bad feedback from the public, then they just can't even handle it. And
and that was like, I'm sorry.
I know. I'm like, should I just keep recording so we catch all of these conversations
if you want.
we're having? Like, that's when we say the interesting things.
I know, right?
But just to continue, like, I think some people end up being in those positions because they don't care so much about it, when I think it's harder for someone to care about all that feedback and the peripheral things if they're in a public position, because then they're more sensitive to the negative feedback.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that was a part of this thing that I had for myself internally. I would say, I don't take myself serious, but you better,
Okay.
And that was just a way of me, like, still being open and honest and, staying true to myself, but still like letting people know that I'm not going to let them, run over me or, just treat me any old kind of ways. But I used to say that. I don't take myself serious, but you better, And, I don't know. I guess it's just, as an artist, when you are performing and you are singing, you tend to sing songs that you really like and that resonates with you and that you feel. And I meant what I said, especially when I started singing my own words. I meant those words, but it was so hard for me to mean it and to feel it when it was other people's, stuff that they had written for me. Yeah.
Were you able to use your own stuff in that group?
Yeah. Eventually, I had to like, all right, now I can't sing this. What you talking about? I don't get it, you know?
Yeah.
So eventually, I was able to write my own, you know, verse and my own words. And I think they were dope.
Cool. Yeah, I think they were too. You know?
So, yeah.
And so that brings more personal meaning when you're actually performing it.
Yeah.
It can come out more strongly.
Because you can still, like, the message that they were trying to give, I can put those in my own words. And, you know, and people will get it. They get it, they don't. As an artist, you got to get to that level, too, where you just really don't care. They're going to have to catch up, you know?
Yeah.
So, it's fun.
Cool. Oh my gosh. I mean, that's an opportunity so few people have. And so it's really cool to be able to hear about it and, you know, just hear about what the experience is. And I'm sure everybody's experience is different.
Yeah.
When it comes to that, and people handle it differently. But I also was interested in, like, because we had talked about how at a young age you had kind of realized, like, I need to not worry about what other people think so much, which I think was before that point.
Yeah, like I was fairly young when I had to snap out of it and get it together to be okay for myself. I was always surrounded by a lot of people in my life. I have a lot of people in my family. You know, I've always wanted to be involved with different things in my school, in my community, whatever it was. I wanted to do it. You know, I was excited about trying new things and exploring life. So that comes with people. And so in some instances you will, you know, live with people and you will spend a lot of time in long periods of time with people. So you're not by yourself. You have to adapt and you have to learn how to talk to people, how to, you know, how to maneuver and, you know, get through life and coexist and compromise.
Without compromising.
Exactly. So there are going to be arguments, there are going to be disagreements, there are going to be, you know, mishaps and misunderstandings, and there are going to be some great times and some highs and things like that. But when just paying attention to that stuff, even at a young age, like elementary school, I'm sure my folks would say, yeah, Tashi's always been a little crazy or weird or whatever, like they like to use to describe me. Different.
But wasn't there a point, I think you were saying, when you really were like, I need to just do me for a minute?
Yeah. So, I guess really trying to, like I said, coexist and play, or just, I felt like anything that I did, like in my groups or organizations at school or anything like that, at some point there was always like me bumping heads with people, or like there was always some kind of disconnect. And because my heart, I felt like my intentions have always been good, just acting out from anger and misunderstanding has like really been my thing, you know, when I was little. But anyway, I got to a point where I was just like, I don't want to feel this anymore. Like, why do I keep feeling this? Like, why do my feelings hurt? And if you ever had your feelings hurt, that's like a deep kind of thing. And if you pay attention to it, you would naturally be like, hold on, what was that? I don't like that, you know? So, when I felt that, I just started paying attention to how I was around other people, or how other people treated me, and how I treated other people. And I don't think I necessarily liked what was going on or what I was feeling. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna play by myself, because every time I do this or play here, it's a problem, or I gotta get in trouble. Or
this is like childhood.
This is childhood.
Oh, because you're saying playing, and I'm like, playing. That's just the way. But then I was like, oh wait, no, you literally
like playing like a kid, like child, like play or interact with other people.
Most people don't even remember their childhood, let alone like overcome life like make transformational inner changes in childhood. I
don't remember a lot of things from my childhood, but when it came to self, I remember, because I was forced to, because I felt like I was always put over in a box where I had to be like, okay, or you got to go in timeout, or you're in school suspension, or you're suspended, or you need to go to your room. I've always done things where I was forced to be by myself. And when you're alone, I had to think about this stuff.
You had to be introspective.
Yeah, introspective. And when these people would ask, or the authority or the adults would ask, like, what did you do? Do you know what you did? What did you learn from that? They're always trying to, in some way, get you to figure it out on your own and let you know what you're doing is not the best, or you're not making the best decision. So, they have a young girl.
I know. I'm like, that's awesome. I mean, I was a pretty introspective. Maybe we connect on so many different ways of so much in common. But like, I was pretty introspective and pensive.
Yeah.
Like, but a lot of people are definitely not as kids. They're just. But I didn't really have any transformational experiences.
I mean, well, that's just like when it started, that's when it all started for me, when I, paid attention to what was going on and really started isolating myself and being okay with playing myself, building my self-esteem. I'm beautiful, and telling myself these things. This started very young.
As a child. Amazing.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't come across that till like later in life, and they finally find someone who's like, you need to do affirmations. Like,
but but not even knowing that was affirmations. My cousins and other people would tell me, especially my cousin. She helped raise me. She was a great part of my childhood. But she would tell me, if someone says that you're beautiful, or they tell you that you're cute, say, I know. So I'm like, oh my God. So she would tell me all these sassy things. But then later on in life, you realize, oh, I can't, that's not, everybody don't like that, or that's not accepted everywhere with the sass or this self-esteem or this attitude or this energy. Like, so I learned it very young, but through life, as I got older, I had a bunch of hard lessons, and I've, a bunch of,
it's not like it just made everything easy.
It didn't make everything easy at all. It did not. And so I learned a bunch of hard lessons. There were some consequences. I made some crazy decisions, but honestly, I don't regret any of it. I did some crazy, ridiculous things.
I have not heard all those stories yet. I've only heard
and other people
some of those stories.
We haven't gone that deep yet, but I've always been a little cray-cray, a little fun. I've always explored, and I've always brought the happy and tried my best to be happy, no matter how sad or how much in pain I was. I've really, really, I've always ultimately wanted to be happy, and so I wouldn't give up on it, because I thought, like, all these things that I've gone through, even the decisions I made, I'm like, there must be some happiness, like there must be something else, and I want to feel that. So that's why I'm continuously learn. But life definitely slapped me and knocked me down a bunch of times, but I just learned along the way, and I implemented those things, and now I'm just like, say what you won't, think what you won't be, I'm gonna do me, that's the best way that I think I want to live my life, and I think everyone should try it.
Well, and that's why I want to know more of the details. So you're a child, and you're like, how did you realize you needed to do the affirmations? How did you realize you needed the time alone? Like, you were like, well, I'm being made to be alone anyway, so I'm gonna just start by being alone, because what I'm doing isn't working, I guess.
Just choosing to be, because man, I used to be like sad, and I would cry, and mostly to myself, because back then it was like, you don't cry in front of other people, or don't cry, don't cry, or I'm gonna give you something to cry about. So just repressing that and holding that in and just crying alone, that gave me that relief and that expression as well. And so I'm just like, okay. And even in the middle of that crying, I'm just like, okay, well, depending on whatever I got in trouble for or whatever was happening, I'm just like, well, I won't do that again. Or the next time I do it, I'm going to do it this way. And maybe someone called me a name and I retaliated in a physical manner. And I'm just like, why do I get so mad when they say that about me? And then I would examine myself about wherever they were talking about. And then I would look, say my toes, for example. The second toe is longer than the other. But along my journey, I learned that that's people's toes. Like, we all have different. But as growing up,
normal, actually.
Exactly, pretty normal. And I'm like, it's actually not too much much of a bad thing. Plus, they're my toes. What else am I supposed to do with them? But,
yeah, right.
Exactly.
Do you want me to magically change my toes? Like,
what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
But having that conversation with myself, I'm like, why do I get mad? Why does that hurt my feelings? You know,
why am I so affected by this?
Why am I so affected by this person? And why does the words hurt me? Like, why does that matter? Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And then hearing sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never. I was boggling all these things as a kid because they teach you that stuff as a kid. I've heard that a gazillion times.
Yeah.
And so I would be like, okay, he said about my toes, whatever. I'm like, well, they're my toes. You know, this is me talking to myself. And they're cute, you know, and just saying, just really trying to uplift myself and make myself feel better. And when I would implement that, when I started interacting with other people and not caring what they said, and I'm like, oh, you're ugly, you have buck teeth, and that, I'm like, okay. You know, and I would still smile. So having that attitude really helped me get through and really build this self confidence and love that I have for myself, because I learned that I'm not going to get that from anywhere else. Mm-hmm. I mean, people can tell me that, but if I don't really believe it or feel it, it doesn't matter.
It'll last as long as their compliment lasts. It'll last
as long as.
And then when they walk away, you need it from someone else.
Exactly.
As soon as possible.
But if you don't believe that you're beautiful, if you don't believe that your toes are beautiful, what is somebody else telling you? How is that going to change anything? They're like, oh, you do have beautiful toes. Thank you. And then when you go back by yourself, you're like, I don't really feel that. I feel like it's long because everyone says that it's long. And you go back and you're doing all these extra stuff. But I chose not to do that anymore because I didn't like the way I felt. Okay. And I guess paying attention to that young, I think that's how I was able to get to this space now, I guess.
So did it take a few years to or was this a few months that you kind of made a change?
Oh man.
I kind of went from being upset at everything until kind of feeling like, okay, I've learned, or I've figured this out. Or do you never figure it out? I mean, because I remember you told the story of how you at just one point were just like, I'm going to do what I do, you do what you do, and I'm not worried about what your opinion is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Which I'm sure was the foundation for your confidence to where you could be in a group that started to escalate, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that in itself, when you say, how long did it take and do you ever figure it out? That's a loaded, question and in itself. And that's the beauty though. It's the process and it's you learning as you go. And every time you learn something, you just implement it right then. And that just grows more and more. But knowing that I don't want to have it all figured out. I love the process of learning and experiencing things and applying it to my life and trying it out and exploring it. And that's how I get to decipher or to sift through the things that make me feel good and the things that I want to live with. And then I just let go of the other things that don't make me feel like how I want to feel. And so there's no timeline. I can't even tell you how I kind of snapped. I just know it got better and better and deeper along the way, but
it's just something you start practicing and implementing.
Just practicing it, yeah.
And you kind of get better and better, I guess, to say, or you learn more how to use this tool you have, maybe.
Yeah,
over the years.
Yeah, and it's not always easy because you would think, okay, well, I tell myself that I'm beautiful and I tell myself all these things, and it's like, okay, now you got to really feel it and now you got to believe it. So that's a whole process in itself. And it's like, okay, well, how do I believe it? Okay, the next time someone says something about you, you look at your toes or whatever it is that you're feeling insecure about, and you stand in it and be like, yep, it's great. You kind of just, accept it and embrace it because that's what it is. That's you. That's, and besides, they're looking at you. You're not looking at them. They're able to tell you something about yourself like you don't know, And so
And each different person you come across is going to have a different perception. Like one of them is going to not like the longer toe. The next one is going to think it's funny. The next one's going to think it's gorgeous. The next one's going to think it's cute. And so if you are so affected by each person, your view of yourself is going to change every time you come across a new person.
Exactly.
So.
And with that, with all of these different perspectives, why do you care anyway? Like, it's too many to keep up with. Why are you trying to keep up with that? The only one you need to keep up with is your own, you know? And I had to learn that. Even coming down to, well, such and such did it. I did it because such and such did it. Well, if your friends jump off of a bridge, would you do it too? And I'm like, no. And it's
only
like,
if I want to.
Yeah, if I want to. But, you know, it's like, no, that's not the point here, ma'am, you know, sir. But I get what they were saying, you know. Basically, in a way, they were just saying, you need to worry about you. Don't tell me about anybody else. You need to tell me about you. And what did you do to contribute to this? Or what are you going to do to contribute to the solution? Or, you know, so getting told that and getting so sick of hearing the same things over and over again. I'm like, let me try this out. Because I'm sick of saying this. What does this mean? What are they trying to say? You know? But just life is just that learning process of like feeling. And I'm okay with the unknown because I trust and believe in myself and I look for good things, and when bad things or whatever, I don't even like to say bad things, when adversity come my way, I know how to shake and move, you know? So I don't worry about that stuff that we used to, you know, for what?
Yeah. What is it actually getting you at the end of the day?
Nothing. Heartache and pain and sadness and worry. That's it. No.
And I feel like your genuineness and probably your confidence is a big part of what would, you know, make someone think, oh, she's a lead singer, you know, or, you know, not that that's the most important thing, but you know, that's a thing, that's what really I think shines and what really reaches people.
Yeah.
And it draws people to you instead of drawing me. But I think we probably think our first thought is, if I'm really myself and I really like stand up for what I want and keep my boundaries, then I'm going to turn people off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the fear, and that's why we like avoid it.
But where do you get those thoughts of being yourself will turn people off? Where does that come from?
I don't know.
No. Where does that come from?
Negativity.
Negativity.
Or, okay, so your negative perception of yourself?
Oh, no, I was asking. Like, I was just...
right, let me think about it.
I'm saying, like, where's this negativity coming from? Like, where, like, what makes it so negative, you know?
Why would you assume that other people wouldn't like you if you're being yourself?
Yeah.
In the first place.
Yeah, how did you get that thought or that concept that us being, like, me being myself, what made me, like, want to water myself down or feel that I couldn't be myself and be accepted? That means something, you probably were being yourself and it was shot down, or something happened where you felt less confident or less okay to do that particular thing, and doing that was being yourself. So, I mean, I think...
Which, again, is worrying about what people think.
Which, again, is worrying about what other people think. And it's a natural, I get it. It's a part of our life and our learning. But, right, are you going to do that forever? Or you know how that makes you feel. You know where that gets you. Now what? There are other options, you know. Try them out, you know. and not care. Try the not care option. And see what that does. Right.
Because if you never try it, if you're always like, I'm afraid to be myself because people won't like me, then you'll never know.
Yeah, you'll never know. And when I share these words, this is me talking to myself. And like, now I'm in a space where I'm like, okay, I can share myself again. Like, I really want to open up and share myself and share my talents and express myself in all the ways that I can. And the only person that was like holding me back and limiting me is myself. It's me. And that's not wanting to have to interact or share that side, because at one point I didn't feel like the world deserved it. And I didn't want to, because it just brought too much.
Yeah.
That wasn't really worth it for me. I'd rather perform and give myself my Oscars and all of my awards in my shower than having to deal with all this extra stuff, you know? No, I'm good. But now I'm just like, okay, I can handle it. I got this, you know. Besides, I'm not doing it for that or them. I'm doing it just to express myself, and this is my way to communicate my purpose to the world, you know? So.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, we were shopping the other day, and these people are reaching out to you for like a business opportunity, and I just feel like people are drawn to your positivity and your, I forgot about that. But yeah, and I couldn't tell if it was a really good one or a sort of good, but
you know, we were just exchanging information, and we had to connect there with what they were doing and what I love in, so it just happened.
Yeah, and like, you know, if someone is afraid all the time of what people think, other people aren't going to want to draw them into their world, because it's like, well, if you have fear, you're kind of pushing people away. Yeah, probably. And you're not welcoming or inviting, because, you know, maybe you may look like you have something to offer or something. This person may see something in you, but if you're having that resistance and you're not all the way like opening up, I mean, I think a person, minded person, balanced person would say, okay, well, maybe that's not something that they want to do, and you know, so they don't push the issue. So that's just the energy that we give off when we're holding these things in, and when we're being and it's okay sometimes. Yeah, you know? Sometimes you don't want to be a part of every opportunity or take every opportunity because you don't want to, or you don't have the space, or you don't, you know. Like, you communicated something the other day really clearly, like, I'm not ready for that right now, but in a few months, you know? Yeah. Like, and I was just like, wow, she's so, like, in touch with what she needs and what is right for her, you know? And it's just like, that's such a good, and it wasn't off-putting to me at all, you know? When people are honest with us and they really communicate, like, I can't do that right now, but thank you so much, or, you know, could we do it but another time, or whatever it is, or even outright saying, like, I that's something that doesn't interest me and I have other things on my plate, you know. Like, we always think that just we can't say no to things.
I think it's important to do that, because it just gives you that space to honestly be your true authentic self and be 100 and have 100% of yourself in that moment. I mean, that was a great opportunity, and of course I'm interested. It's just at that time I was just like, I'm not gonna be able to give my best self right now because I'm not feeling up to it. And so I could have forced myself or made an effort to, like, okay, get up and just do it because it was right there in front of me. But I had to be true and, like, no, I just need to lie here and you know, relax and clear my head. You know, I just wasn't in that space to share at that time. And that's okay. Yeah. And actually, my life has gotten 1,000 times better since I've been able to say no more. But it's not really no. It's like, it sounds like no to you, but it's like yes to me. Because, you know, you don't have to jump at every opportunity. Sometimes certain things just don't fit in your space and at that moment. And sometimes when things happen and I have a moment with myself, I'm like, okay, bet, I gotta do this. Like, okay, I need to do it. You know, I have those moments too, and I just do it. Especially if I feel fear. Oh, okay. If it's something like I'm scared of that, or I get this feeling in my stomach, like, that's when I do it.
Oh, man.
That's what I do. I'm like, okay, I gotta do it.
Yeah. That's why I got myself into an improv comedy class, is because I was like, I need to learn to be in the moment and just do the impulse that's in the moment and trust it and not worry about it and not analyze it so much.
It happens. I mean, it's just, you know, it wasn't always like that though. Like, I used to be like, I'm scared, you know, and then then it takes that one time you do something and you're scared, and then you actually do it and you're like, oh, it wasn't that bad. It was actually really good. You know, it's cool. And so having that feeling, and when another opportunity like that kind of presents itself and you feel that same kind of like fear in your tummy, do it.
Just jump into
those things. And the more I started doing that, that's when I had like some of the best experiences in my life. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like I literally could have said no. I almost said no. And I
wouldn't be here doing this thing.
And this other opportunity wouldn't have come about. So now I get to, it's just, I think the more and more we do that, like when you start feeling that fear, that natural instinct, that's when you go for it.
Yeah.
That's when you go for it.
That's what I thought. I've had those moments like several times, even in the last month. And I'm like, the first time I had that feeling, and then I don't even remember what these things are anymore, but I didn't do it. And then the second time I was like, oh, I'm having this fear feeling. I feel like I should probably do it because last time I didn't do it. Anyways.
Yeah.
And these weren't like anything that was a big deal, but
it don't have to be a big deal. It is what it is. It can be so simple, so small. It doesn't matter. It could have been like, all right, I'm gonna pick that frog up today. Like I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I want to do it. I want to do it. You know,
or that spider that I'm scared of.
Exactly. Or getting in the cold tub, like the plunge, like the very. It took me years to get my mind right into like, I'm gonna do it. I got this. I'm gonna do it.
The cold.
Okay, so there are like hot tubs, warm tubs, and cold tubs.
There are? I didn't know this. I know about hot tubs.
Yes, there are hot tubs, warm tubs, cold tubs.
Cool.
And so...
Where are these tubs?
So there are different places, like different spa places. One of my favorite places in Atlanta or Duluth is Jeju. And it's fun. It's a bathhouse, but whatever.
It's a Japanese bathhouse, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Which is?
So it's called Jeju, and they have like different like sauna huts made of different things like crystals and salt or charcoal and all these different things. Okay. And then, you know, of course there's food, and then there's a pool, and then you have locker rooms for the women and for the men. Okay. And there are different activities and different things services you can get in the locker rooms. Okay. Including these hot tubs, cold tubs, and warm tubs, steam room, and all that good stuff. Okay. So I'm in the hot tub, and I look at this cold tub all the time, and I'm like, I can't deal with the cold.
Wait, what does cold tub mean?
It's like cold.
Freezing cold,
it's like,
or just like
degrees? I can't remember the temperature. It's on there. It's cold.
It's cold.
It's like
ice. Is there ice in it?
There's no ice in it.
Okay.
There's no ice in it, but it's like,
is it ice?
30 degrees or something like that.
Yeah. Wow.
Maybe
I mean, I'm thinking because this is a thing they do in Greenland, I think, or Iceland.
Yeah, they do.
Iceland or Greenland, where they actually like go in a steam room and then they'll run out into the like pond that's frozen over and like go under and then come back, and it's like good for your adrenaline or something.
And your nervous system and all these things is good for the body.
Yes,
and
it's good.
It
sounds horrible, but it's good.
It sounds horrible, but it's so good. And it took me forever to actually do it because I've tried to avoid cold anything for as long as I can remember. But when I actually got in this cold tub, I did it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my body had felt this tingle and this thing that I had never felt before because forever I've been avoiding getting in this cold water. And I was like, oh my gosh. And of course it was miserable. Okay. Especially when you get back up and you
do you sit in there for a minute, or is it about going in and getting out? Like,
actually,
what's the point?
Okay, so some people just sit in there. For me, I do, at first I just walked in from one side and I walked out to the next. And I did it again. Every time I do it now, I do it 3 times. But so basically you go inside and I'll get in and I'll go all the way down, and sometimes I dip my head all the way down and I come back up and I sit there in the middle of the tub, and then I walk out to the other side. And then I might go in like the steam room or something like that and warm up again, and then I'll come and do it again. No lie. My skin even is like, my skin, it's like glowing. It's like the best. I've seen it when I do that. I'm like, what what is this about this cold? Like, but it closes your pores and all that stuff like that too, and makes your pores really small. And
okay,
I'm like, oh my gosh! But it's a great
heat
feeling.
Opens your pores, so like cold obviously closes your pores, and also it's probably like it's because it's stimulating your blood's probably
your blood and your
so
nervous system,
flush and brightness,
all that good stuff. It's an amazing experience, and now I even take cold showers, like, or I might have a hot shower and then at the end I like cool down cold, and it just does something amazing. It's beneficial to my body. My body loves it, so I'm like, I guess I need to do this then.
I keep giving it to my body. All right.
So that's
it. You decide. It's up to you.
Exactly.
I wish I was better. That's my difficulty, is giving my body what it's asking for, or knowing what my body's asking for. Instead, I go with what my mouth is asking for. And that's been, But that's another thing we can talk about is how you came to certain dietary decisions.
Yeah. Well,
and watching your diet habits, like, I can see that you're just really conscientious about what you put in your body and what you, like, what your body wants and what's going to make you feel better later or worse later. Which, like I said, some of us feed this, but we don't feed this very well.
Yes.
So,
yeah. I don't have like this amazing story of how it became at all. It just, a point in my life, I mean, for one, I worked in a restaurant too, so I got to see,
oh, that's right,
some of the behind the scenes of food preparations, and just having it there available all the time, and just having it, and I don't know, just paying attention to how my body, felt over time, and then with stress and everything else, the pressures of life, and when you're in a leadership position or whatever, you just want, like, sometimes, like, convenience to just keep going depending on your motivation and your drive. So eventually my body was like, I'm done, I'm done. You have to do something else. And so I didn't feel so good, and a lot of things were happening with my body, and I've always been in tune with my body and conscious of myself in a sense. And so when I was actually took the time to nourish myself, in a healthy way and get some kind of balance in my life, certain things just I didn't crave, or I just wasn't appealing to me. Other things were. My body just responded in a different way. So I paid attention to that, and I was like, okay. And I was realizing my energy level was different, my mood was different, and so paying attention to that and just really diving in and feeding those things that my body was naturally craving, I just went for it, and it just feels right. And I don't know, I just love fruit, and I've always loved fruit. That's always been my favorite food group. And so when I realized, first of all, you have to think about the basics and the root of our bodies and what we are and how we operate and how we were designed. And when you think about that, you take a little second and think about that, you'll get a different kind of perspective of what you should have, and what you want. And that's just simply listening to your body and giving it what it needs. So yeah, I just love fruits and veggies.
And sorry, is someone home?
I think someone might be home. What?
Oh no, they're not here.
What was that?
I don't know what that was.
Are you sure?
I know. I thought it was the door, but no cars are there. So
but
no one's here.
Somebody came to the door, so maybe they left.
Maybe they just left a package or something. So you had gone vegetarian, but was it, or vegan?
I guess it would start off vegetarian, because I was still like eating eggs.
Okay.
And then I just got sick of that after time, but then learning too more about it, because at first I didn't hear this whole vegetarian vegan thing, and when I heard about it, I'm just like, oh, that's how I live. Like, that's what I eat. you know?
Oh, you just kind of did it organically in the sense of like...
Yeah, I didn't know about the difference, or I hadn't really, I mean, I've heard about that stuff like years and years ago, but it wasn't like a big main thing or, a thing.
Yeah.
So
it's not like something you were trying to join or like be a part of or something.
No, I didn't watch a video or anything like that. But which
is cool, but
which is really, really great. Yeah. I watch them now, and that's actually how I learned more about it. And that's when I realized that I was actually a vegetarian then vegan.
Okay.
I had no idea.
Oh, you're just doing what your body told you. Like, this is what my body wants. It makes me feel better.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep. And really diving deeper into that self-discovery and that spiritual thing, and just really finding myself and listening and trying different things and reading different things and implementing them, and just, like I said, sifting through and
just seeing how your body reacts.
Yeah.
And then, it didn't feel well, so I'll try something else.
Yeah. Yeah. It was something. And there's a story too with my eyesight had gotten really, really bad. My left eye's just, but became a time when I couldn't see, like where it was so bad.
Wow.
And so one day at work, I was having this migraine and I just couldn't see.
Wow.
And so they had to take me across to like this eye doctor. And
do migraines always cause that, or was it not related?
There was migraine and blurry and all these things that were happening with me, where I couldn't even see at night, where the lights would just like become on. Oh. So I couldn't drive at night. I was just like, okay, well, I guess I can't drive at night. So I had to alter my life around that. But this particular time when my body was like, okay, I'm done. This is like, was one of those brick walls that I hit to begin this journey. Yeah, I'm shutting down. And so I went there and they're like, there's nothing wrong with your eyes and da-da-da. We're going to send you here so they can check out your brain and all these different things. I'm like, okay, whatever. Oh. So long story short, that's when I hit that brick wall and my body shut down. And I was like, okay, I gotta do something. Something gotta happen, right? Yeah. So I'm having these eye problems. All these other things were happening. And then once my lifestyle started changing and I started eating differently and consuming different things and drinking more water and moving my body and doing all these different things naturally, it was weird. My eyes, I had gotten glasses and everything, like for seeing at night and all that stuff. I didn't realize I wasn't even wearing my glasses anymore because my eyes and all that stuff had gotten better. Like, I can drive at night. That pressure went away. All that stuff like changed, and I didn't even think about it until I had a moment when I was like, I am so grateful. Like, I was miserable. Like, and when I paid attention, like, I showed gratitude and I really reflected hard, and I was like, these are the things that I'm gonna do. This is what I want to do. I made that decision. And so
I need to make some changes, otherwise my body's going to keep going downhill and it's going to keep screaming back at me.
Yeah.
And that's so cool. I've heard of, different stories of people and some of the videos and stuff. There's a guy who is from Australia and he was on a whole bunch of different medications for, can I remember the name of it? I just read it the other day. He had a condition that's super rare. It's where he gets rashes all over his body. And then he started juicing and totally changed his diet. Before he just didn't worry about his diet. And he totally changed his diet and the rashes went away. He got off all the meds and, and that kind of like changed my thinking. I was like, oh, you can just change your health with diet, which is weird because we talk about eating healthy. Like, it's important to eat healthy. And it's like, well, why is it important to eat healthy?
Right.
Like, why is it important if it doesn't affect your health? Then why do we need to eat healthy? Yeah. So we do it because it actually does affect our health. And then, I've experienced that somewhat when I changed to natural skin products, like just my soap and deodorant and moisturizer, which is pretty much all I use. But and like, I used to get a huge zit once a month, and I suddenly realized it's like, oh, that went away a few months after I changed, and it's never come back. I've never had, little things every once in a while that make sense because of my diet, but like, or because of lifestyle things, you're going to have your body get affected by your life.
Yes.
But I've never had those skin issues since. I've never had that big pimple I used to get regularly, like every month or every other month. I would get one right here, and I've never gotten one since. And I was not even doing it for that reason. I just kind of wanted to try the natural thing for a bit. So it's like when you see those results, you're like, why would I go back? You know, now, like, exactly. I'll keep doing what I'm doing. Yeah. I'll keep doing the thing that's making me healthy. Yes. And so that's really cool. That's amazing.
I mean, that's why, like you said, like, you talked about the why. It's important to understand our bodies and what it needs, and we need to know the why. Okay, eat healthy for what? This is healthy. This is what you've been giving me forever, you know? And
not just because you should.
Not just because you should.
Like, that's,
Exactly. So when you know why, and when you pay attention, and when you see and you understand what your food is for, it's to give you energy. It's to keep this thing going. You know, it's there's a reason they say you are what you eat. They say it so vaguely, and they say it like subliminally, but it's
but literally
think about it.
Like, absolutely
think about it.
It's actually impossible for it to be otherwise. You can't be made of anything but what you eat.
Exactly.
I don't think. I
mean, okay. When it comes to like water, like it breaks my heart when I hear people sometimes it's like, I don't like water. It's nasty. And for some reason, I feel like there's a part of my life where I didn't drink as much water as I do now. But I didn't ever think it was nasty, and I understood that water was in everything. And but when I learned that, my body is made over like 70% of water. So I must need that. I'm made of that. Like, why would, I need that, So when you have that information, it's kind of like, okay, I need to get me some water because it's going to do this. And when you start seeing what it does for your body and you're like, this is necessary, This necessary.
This matters.
This is good.
This is a big deal.
Yeah, exactly. And same thing when it comes to fruit. For me, it always tastes great to me. Like, I've always loved it. But then, paying attention now, like, oh my gosh, I just eat a bunch of fruit in the morning when I'm on my regular daily routine. I have so much energy. I'm like bouncing off the walls. I'm like, what? When I first discovered that, I was like, I gotta get some more. It was almost like, it was crazy because it's mostly water too. So your body's just like taking it all in, and you get all this energy, and it's happy, it's sweet, it's juicy. It's like, come on, like I'm like,
it's nature's candy bar. What else do you want?
Exactly. And so when I was feeling that, I'm like, okay, I want this. I want this every day. I want this every single day. And that's just kind of like how I choose to live and like how I choose to like flow. I haven't always been that way, but actually learning my lessons and implementing them and applying them to my life has been great for me. It's been bumps along the way, but those experiences taught me how to get through. And as long as I believe that and want to feel good and want to choose to make those decisions and trust in myself, I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. So I think that's what it's all about. We can choose to be happy. We can choose to be sad. I'm dealing with this thing that I've never felt in my life when it comes to this heartbreak and losing someone in this way. But it's so much deeper, than the surface. And I'm beyond grateful that I got to share that connection with someone that understood me in that way. And it was deep, and it was amazing, and I was happy as can be, and it showed and it shined through to my family and friends, and all those things that we talked about shaped me along the way and actually helped me appreciate that and to be able to identify and connect with someone on that level. And that was just by me knowing myself in that way, because there was no way that I would be able to connect with him if I hadn't felt it and known it for myself. If I didn't know how to identify, there's no way. And so I'm those things are crazy. Life has been something, but I've made that decision to just keep going and live my purpose. I choose to live my purpose here, and I'm going to take all of the things that I learned from him and everyone else and all the experiences in my life. And I'm just going to use them as like fire and armor and magic to just live my purpose while I'm here and be happy while I'm doing it and never take anything for granted and just like go for it and live a life that's worth living for me. Like,
someone else's life is worth living for them.
Exactly.
But is it worth it for you?
Exactly. But the beauty is, if all of us felt that way, and when we come together and when we have these interactions with each other, it's magical. Like, it's a great thing. It's a great feeling. Mm-hmm. And it's a shame that he and I, like, we got this now. What if we had this along the way, like, all the time? You know, like, I can imagine, mm-hmm. you know, where we'd be. But you know, it is what it is, and I take it for that, and I still don't have any regrets, you know? I'm just gonna choose to be happy, and I'm gonna choose to live and remember all those great things, and so, I don't know. That's the thing about life. We got all this stuff. We're complex, and it's deep, but it's amazing. Like, we can create this stuff and we can explore it all. We don't have to limit ourselves to anything. Even with the adversity, even with society and these things we feel like it's all piling on us and it's coming at us. It's like, okay, we have that information already. We know that this is a possibility, that this can happen in our lives. People are going to come at us. People are going to not like us. Things are going to happen. Opportunities are going to be there. Sometimes the opportunities won't be there. We're going to be hungry, going to be sick. Okay, got it. Now, how are you going to play the game, having that information? When these things come your way, you know that you can make a solution because you create. You create these things for yourself. You can choose to react to these things in a different way that's going to be good for you. You know what I'm saying? And okay, be sad, be angry, be mad, whatever you need to be, but don't sit in it.
Yeah, feel the emotions. I'm very much for feeling them and experiencing.
Feel all of them.
Don't deny them. Don't suppress them.
Embrace them.
Don't run away from them.
Nope.
Yep.
Embrace them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you run away, come back. Mm-hmm. Experience them when you need to, because that is how you're going to evolve. That's how you learn, and that's how you get better. That's how you find yourself, and that's how you find you're happy. Because you can't find yourself in these comfortable positions or these spaces where you're not challenging yourself and you're not really feeling, or you're closing yourself in, or you're shutting down. You're not doing yourself any good. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be able to express yourself in a way that will help you evolve and become that person that you really truly want to be. Mm-hmm. You may not know who that is, but you deserve to find out. You know? But feel all of the feelings. Feel all of it.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. I know I have, and I still do. I have my moments, but it's the way you respond, and it's the way you go about it. Either you're going to soak in it and do nothing and be mad, or you're going to soak in it, come from it, learn from it, digest it.
When you're ready.
Embrace it, and keep it moving. Keep it going. Like,
yeah, don't just, experience everything fully when it's happening. Be like, okay, I'm experiencing this right now. It's making me really sad, or it's making me really disappointed, or it's making me really angry. Like, oh, I'm feeling this. Okay, feel it fully. Okay, I'm sad today.
Yeah.
I'm sad right now. It might last a while today. But I'm going to feel it fully. And then, it's, there needs to be a point when it comes up. It should come naturally up when you go to the bottom of whatever the feeling is, it should start coming up the other way. You don't want to sit in the bottom of it for years and years, or never fully feel it, and then sit in that like halfway feeling it, never coming up, but never fully feeling it.
That's the key. You want to feel it, and then you want to let it go.
Yeah, I like that.
You want to observe without absorbing.
Yeah.
Like, feel it and let it go. It's fine. And
observe. What did you say?
Observe without absorbing. So you don't want to hold on to it. You want to just observe it. Get it. Okay, this is what it is. Identify. Got it. And you want to let it go.
Don't make it a part of you.
Don't make it a part.
Holding and sheltering forever, and it's part of your identity.
You have to choose, because holding it only makes you sad. It only does something, it only affects you in a way that doesn't feel so good. Mm-hmm. So just let it go. Observe it. See it for what it is. Now you know. Mm-hmm. Learn from it. And let it go. And move on to the next. Because you got so many other things that you're going to have to learn along the way. So you let that one go.
Get ready.
Yeah. Get ready. Now you know what it is. So
I'm going to double check. For some reason I'm worried about that camera being on. Okay. Put on my interview glasses. All right. It's very serious.
It's
not serious. Okay. So one thing that, speaking of this relationship, and one thing he was really supportive of was your hair, which makes you look, let me start that over. I think it's your lack of hair. How do I say this?
You can say my bald head, because that's what it is, or my appearance, or my no hair, whatever you want to say. Doesn't matter.
Why can't I think of your hairdo? No, your hairstyle. Non-hairstyle, because it's unhair. Okay.
It was a rat tail back there. I cut that
that's right.
during New Year, so.
Okay. All right. I think I know now.
Oh my God.
Okay, starting over. Cut. So, speaking of the relationship, one thing that he was really supportive of, because it's I don't know if I'd say core part of you, but it's a core part of where you are right now in life, mm-hmm. is your hairstyle. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just curious, because you've had a lot of experiences with people reacting to the, mm-hmm. To this choice. And so I just want to hear from your point of view, like how that came about and your experiences with it.
Well, again, I don't have like a magical story for you or anything like that, or like this crazy debacle, but I don't know, hair has always been like a thing in my life, and we get so connected to our hair. It's a part of our image, it's a part of our look, it's a part of who we are. And one point in my life I felt that way, but it just became so much like not so happy situations or moments in my life when it came down to my hair. So honestly, I woke up one day and I was like, I'm gonna shave my head. And I
think we all have those days, but we're too worried about the fact that it's, so we don't do it.
Well, I didn't think about that. I just really, of course, with certain things that I do in my life, hair is a big part of that when it comes to images, when it comes to photos, and what the world wants, and these different looks. That may have crossed my mind. I was like, oh, well, I can wear this, and oh, I can wear that. But it never took away that whole thought or idea of I'm gonna shave my head. I want to shave my head. It wasn't for that. I just wanted to shave my head.
Okay.
And
just one of those things in life where you just kind of this is what I want to do.
Yeah, this is what I want to do.
I don't totally know why.
Right.
Yeah.
And then after a while I'm like, I don't have to deal with hair. It just seems so it just felt like a freeing kind of expression. And I've worked so hard to be free in my mind and have this peace of mind. And I woke up and I was just like, I want to shave my head. That's just the thought that I had along that journey. And so I made the appointment. I shaved it.
You didn't stop. You didn't think about it a week. You didn't sleep on it.
I didn't sleep on it. It already.
All right.
I made up my mind right then and there.
Did you see someone who did, or anything, or any influence, or it literally was just an organic?
It was just an organic thing. I've always had a lot of hair on my head, and when I turned 30, I cut my hair down to a bob or whatever. I still had natural hair. Okay. And then eventually, they say, when you cut it, you just keep going. And eventually I cut it down shorter to this little pixie.
Okay.
Which I do have headshots with that. But and then it started growing back out. It's growing back out more. I was like, okay, I'm gonna grow the biggest afro. Like this is the journey that I was on before I shaved my head. I was like, I'm gonna grow the biggest afro, and my hair is so curly, and like I'm gonna do this. Like I loved it. Like I loved the short like fro and how I did it.
Cool.
And but that was the journey I was on. I'm gonna grow the biggest afro. I'm never gonna cut my hair again, you know. And then I woke up that one morning and I was like, I'm gonna shave my head.
And on second thought, I'm gonna go the other direction.
Right. and so, and the first time I did it, it was lower, and I kept the rat tail. Oh, and then the day before, it was my appointment, because the appointment was like 2 weeks out. Okay. I had to make an appointment, and the day before I went, I was like, oh, I want a rat tail, by the way. I text my friend and told her, and she's like, okay, well, I'll see you tomorrow, you know? Right. So I get there, we do the thing, we get the rat tail going. So I had that forever. And I actually shaved my head February 2019, right? Okay. Yes, 2019.
Okay.
And
so it's 2 years, 2.5 years-ish? 3
yeah.
years?
It's about to be, no.
This, 2 years.
Yeah, this is making 2 years now. And
yeah. February.
Yeah.
19?
Yeah.
Today! Oh my gosh! That's so crazy. For a second there, I was like, oh duh, she's trying to tell me it's today. And then I didn't realize.
I didn't even realize it was today.
I don't feel so dumb.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that makes today is 2 years.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
I know, that's crazy.
Wow. See?
That's crazy.
It's I don't know what do you want to call it? A sign?
It's a sign of synchronicity.
It's a beautiful synchronicity sign, you know. I don't know. That's so cool.
It's cool. It is what it is. And the ones that know will know. And the ones that get it will get it.
You know what we're talking about.
And it is what it is. You know.
Crazy.
But that is crazy. So that's when I shaved my head. And I actually cut my rat tail off New Year. Actually, the first or the second. I think it was the second, actually.
Okay, this year, New Year.
Yeah, this year.
Okay.
This year. Yeah, so.
Cool. Mm-hmm. And what experiences have you had?
Okay. All kinds of experiences. Oh my gosh. For one, I love it. It's the best hairstyle or feeling I've had all my life, my entire life. I'm probably going to go just dye this way, guys, just so you know. Wigs, I'm for it, but I just love it. I can't see myself in any way. I feel like this is meant for me. This is how I'm supposed to look. This is how I feel.
I think
it could change, but this is how I feel now.
I think a lot of people are probably agreeing because it's flattering on you. And I think there might be an outbreak of people doing it after they watch this.
Do it.
You're right. That's a good idea.
Do it. I mean, why not? I could grow back. But I've gotten all kinds of like reactions. You know, at first people probably thought I was crazy when I told them that when I showed them, because I didn't even tell people.
You didn't stop it. You didn't delay. You did it.
I just did it.
So by then, people that heard about it, it was done.
Yeah. They were like, oh my gosh, and my dad, oh my gosh, he did not want to see me. I told him what I did, and he's just like, and I took some time to even tell him, and he was just like, oh my gosh. But eventually he's like, he likes it. I mean, he's been bald all of my life, but
he can't complain.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff. And people like walk up to you and they look at you like a certain way, and a lot of times I didn't really look at people, I look at people, but I didn't notice them looking at me, or I didn't care to like, what are you staring at, but now I'm just like, what are you staring at? Like, say something. Get out of my face. Or when I had my tail, like, believe it or not, people will come and like touch my tail.
Oh my gosh. What?
Hi.
Excuse me, this is my world.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Or they assume, they're like, you must be a model, or you're this, or you're that. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm all that. Whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to say.
That's like me wanting to wear the big like sweatshirts.
It's cute on you.
The Justin Bieber ones. I want to wear the big, huge ones.
It's so cute.
But we were at the store and it's like, I can't wear one that's that big. I'm not Justin Bieber. I'm not famous. I can't get away with it. Like, I can't walk
you're Belinda,
around.
and it looks great on you.
I know. And then you're making the point, like, you don't have to be famous to do something that you want to do.
Exactly. Just do
you. Are famous. You are a queen.
And know? I didn't do this for attention, or I didn't do this for anything else. This is what I wanted for myself. I didn't even think about the outcome or the reactions that I would get. Because if I had known, I would have probably kept something. Like, now I feel like I have to put a wig on, or I wear a wig and I wear a hat, and so I'm like,
wow, okay. There's that much reaction. I didn't realize, because I remember in the 90s I saw a woman on a TV show, on a talk show actually, as a guest or something, and she had a shaved head. It wasn't Sinead O'Connor, it was actually somebody else, and then she had a nose ring, like a hoop nose ring. And I was like, that looks really cool. I actually wanted it.
It was like...
I wanted that. I would have done it. I would have actually...
Nina Simone or Erykah Badu or...
I don't know. I don't remember back then. I don't remember if it was someone really, really famous or if it was just someone on the talk show that had that look.
Oh, okay.
And
I see.
It wasn't about that. She just had it. And I was like, I would do that look. And I would. I've gone really short, but I've never gone fully because of... I think in my mind, I'm always like, oh, I'm acting and auditioning, and so I'm always like
considering those
thinking
things.
I'm gonna have to get new headshots, and then my casting is gonna be different, and so I kind of wish now that I had done it in my 20s, because like the older you get, like you can still do it, you can still do what you want, but it would have been pretty fun. That's the time when it's good. It's fun to experiment,
I mean, I'm really excited about the different characters I can play now, because I feel like then it kind of limited me of how they saw me, like typecasting, and I played certain things, and but now I'm just like, maybe I could actually book those roles that I like the action films or the superhero, all that kind of stuff. I love that. And when I see these things with my bald head, when it comes to me acting or performing again, I'm like, oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
They can catch up with me now. Maybe you guys can book me for, so I
reconnect.
Go exactly.
Back to that, some of those contacts.
You got wigs. If you need me to have some hair, give me a wig. I'm the perfect canvas now, honey. I have nothing here.
That's right. Blank canvas.
Exactly.
Quite literally.
Well, So I kind of took it that way, and I didn't try want to worry myself with that, or and people like, when it comes to like guys, or they would ask, did you think that you're gonna like get guys to talk to you, or are these guys gonna like you? I'm like, I didn't think about who was gonna like me or not, or I didn't do this for men or guys. And honestly, I feel like I've gotten even more attention with my hair like this, maybe because they think I'm trying to make a bold statement or something. Who knows what they're thinking, but none of this had anything to do with anybody else or anything else. It's just what I felt and what I want and what I love for myself. And
I think a lot of women, that would be their first thought, is like, well, one of their thoughts is like, oh, this is going to be really unusual. And second, this is like, men are going to not want me, or be less attracted, or think I'm less feminine, or I'm trying to make some statement.
Yeah.
But then you met Justin, which was like one of the best guys
ever.
Like,
that graced my life.
Like, good person,
amazing,
really attractive, really nice, really
smart,
hardworking,
strong, hardworking. He's just an amazing, well-rounded person, and he loved my bald head, and he always gave me these awesome compliments and made me feel great about myself. And when I wore wigs or something, or wanted to like be a little private or incognito, he's like, Like, no. I was like, he's like, yeah, you look great with it, but I like your bald head. Like, I want you to just wear it, and yeah, I love, so cool. It was just amazing because he has this awesome head of hair. And
which is so funny because, like, there's members of our family who don't, he's one of the lucky guys that has hair.
Yeah.
Like, still. Whereas some, a number of us guys, men-wise, have not kept their hair. But he has
so awesome hair. and actually, he was like, when I'm done with this, he was like, I'm never gonna shave again. So I was so looking forward to like his beard and all of his hair.
Was he gonna grow his hair long?
He's gonna grow his hair, and then I was looking for like man bun. I'm telling you, talk about hot. He's gonna be like
long hair on guys is so, yeah.
He's gonna be like the world's hottest man. I was gonna make sure of it. I was gonna take pictures of him.
Oh, that's so fun.
Because think about him with all that hair.
Yeah.
With like a beard, he grows a really dope, nice, thick beard.
Mm-hmm.
And then his hair with those eyes. Okay. But anyway.
Oh man, that would have been funny too if he's got like all this hair and then you've got
no hair.
No hair.
Or a rat tail.
And people just like, okay.
All right. But that's what I loved about, you know, us and our relationship and our lifestyle. We both had this presence that I didn't pay attention to. People would just point it out. I'm just like, oh, I see that. And then when he and I would talk, you know, we would, you know, hype ourselves up and give ourselves, boost our confidence and just give ourselves some love, because that's very important. You to water each other and yourself. And but yeah, we would think we made a great team. And when we had to do teamwork, it was awesome.
And it's about, I think guys are attracted to authenticity, you know, like, or an authentic guy is attracted to authenticity. Yeah. So if that's your authentic, what you authentically want, you know, they're attracted to you.
Exactly.
They're not attracted to your hair. I mean, if they're if they're more of an authentically oriented type of person.
Exactly. It's not about like the hair. That's what we need to focus on. You know, of course people, you know, it's the desire to be desired and want something that you want to look at and something attracted to. Okay, that's good. But if you focus more what's on the inside and how you feel when you're around these people and the things that they say and how the things that you say, like when you pay attention to those things, honey, you're gonna shine. And it doesn't matter if you had a string of hair on your head, you know, somebody might want that, you know, and that might be just enough for someone, you know.
Grow one strand.
Just one strand.
If that does it for you,
do it, you know. And so I didn't make any of these decisions because of that. I just felt like I would attract what's meant for me. I will have. So I'm not. Yeah, and it's a great journey. I don't see me growing hair though. So
anytime soon.
Anytime soon.
Yeah.
So I'm. Yeah.
So if you're thinking about it, do it.
Do it. If you want to change your hair, if you want to cut your hair, if you want to change something, try something new or different, you know, for yourself, do it. Why not? It can grow back. You can change it back. Like, but explore it. Have fun. Don't take it so serious. Like,
you're convincing me right now.
Create, like, girl.
I'm thinking of doing a blue streak.
Yes.
Or something on the side.
Yeah. Do it. Well, okay, you can always change it back. It can always come out, like.
No, it's permanent forever.
Okay, well, keep it forever. It'll be dope. That'll be.
No, I know, you're right. If there's anything you can grow out and start over again, it's your hair.
Yeah.
So, what's the problem?
What's the problem?
Why freak out about it?
Don't.
Awesome.
Do you?
We have the answers for everything.
No, we don't. No.
We're all learning.
We're all learning
and discovering.
And discovering. And the beauty is not even wanting to have the answers for everything. The unknown is a beautiful thing, and just trusting in yourself that you'll make the best decisions and flow with it. Don't give yourself that much stress, honey. It'll happen. It'll flow the way it needs to.
Okay, thanks. Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
At least I am. Yeah.
And then my last question, this is kind of like a fun question. Maybe I'll do these two. I've been forgetting to do it lately. If you were a boulder that was stuck anywhere in this world, like for the beginning of the world to the end of the world, where would you be stuck?
Do you mean in a certain place? The first thing that came to my mind was I want to be stuck in water.
Oh.
Because I can explore underneath and feel the creatures and the things underneath, and I can explore above. I get to have some sun and the moon and
you would be like a mount, like there's rocks that like are under the water and
yeah, that's what I thought about a boulder.
Oh my gosh. I don't think I've had that response yet.
Yeah.
That's so good. Oh, I love these. I love asking these questions. I didn't even think about that. Okay, and then the other question is, if you could have someone compose your life, like a musician of any kind of musician, from classical to rock and roll to jazz to whatever, I don't know how many, EDM, I don't know. who would you have compose if there was one?
My life? There are two people that just jumped out at me when it came when I heard that question.
Okay.
And that's Michael Jackson and Donna Summer.
Okay. And why? I want to know why.
Because they're deep, man, and they're so expressive, and I can feel their passion and their words and the way that they move and the way that they are, and their energy is just something that I just resonate and I feel and that I'm connected to, and it's just something about them that just gets me. So it's really hard to choose, but when I think about my life now and where I am and my journey, Donna Summer, because she's so disco and rock and roll, and there's so many layers and depth to her, and for her femininity and the way she moves and her masculinity and she's just amazing. And I can hear her, like, I feel like my life is it's layered. And so when I think of her, like I said, I like the slowness and the soothing of her voice, because she talks to you and she talks a little bit of trash, and then she slows down, and then she gets fast, and there's always different levels to what she got going on, and you just can't keep your eyes off of her. And even if you take your eyes off of her and close them, the feeling that you get when you hear her voice and how she's creating to the music and the sounds is just it's just a beautiful feeling to me. I love it. So Donna Summer and a little bit of disco. She's disco. She's a disco queen.
All right. I love disco, so I'm totally down with that.
Yeah.
Cool. I love it. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
And check us out. We have some great interviews. I got to come up with a better closer for this. But anyway, thank you so much. Really
Thank you, for
it.
real.
Yes.
For real. You're awesome.
Thank you. You are.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
We did it! What time is it?
Oh my gosh. This took us like all day, guys.
It was fun.
Okay. See, it's not. What?
Someone is here! I told you!
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
I told you someone was here.
Hey.
Did you just get here, or have you always been here?
Just got here.
Okay.
Are we safe to come in?
We literally just ended. We literally just
ended.
Closed it.
Oh my god.
That's so crazy. Oh my gosh, that's perfect timing.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Cool.
crazy.
Yeah, see, like, this is why, like, it feels good to do an interview. Like,
Yeah, it
it
was
feels
fun.
like, I don't know, it's just good to be able to share people's thoughts. And
That was fun,
I don't know, I just love it.
Honestly, that's like that's gonna be by far my favorite interview I've ever done in my life.
Mm-hmm.
It is. This one.
Oh, thanks.
It
Can I
is.
write that down?
Yeah. It is, because
How many other interviews have you done?
lots.
Of
But
course you have. Oh my gosh. Back in the day?
yeah, we did like interviews and stuff like that, but just through the things that I've done.
What was
People
the-
wanted to interview me.
What was the group called?
Don't care to share that.
Oh my gosh. Can I
I'm in
Google
one day. No.
Is it
You
in
can't.
Google?
Yeah.
Are you?
I don't-
Is it under your name? Or
No.
did you change your name?
Yeah. It's not my name. It was a group.
How'd it go?
The group, like the people in itself in the group. It went great.
Good. Oh, we got rid of all this, huh?
Yep. Oh, we're still filming. Actually, I just realized.